what is happening in this AI race? How do we have billion-dollar companies popping out of nowhere? And what is happening?
If you take whole AI, if $100 are getting spent, 70 is going to compute and infra, which is NVIDIA and chip infrastructure and cloud hosting providers like Azure, AWS, and so forth. Then $20 are taken by model training companies, which is your OpenAI and Anthropics of the world. Then you remain with $10, which is application layer. So we are actually now, historically, of course, if you look at Indian economy, it is service oriented or SaaS oriented, where we are able to understand how to create an application. Somebody did the research, we're able to multiply that research, putting engineering might on top of it, and create a lot of applications from it. So we're playing in this 10 cent game, so to speak, right?
My question is there a particular framework that you would like to teach us which will help us find a proper gap in the market?
Let me try and give an example. So I'll take first Emergent, which is my favorite company right now, since I've spent a lot of time with Mukund. They've done a brilliant job in putting India on the world map, I would say.
Can you give us a brief gist of what Emergent does so that everybody's familiar?
So Emergent is a vibe coding platform. Vibe coding platform is in the previous word of creating a software. Like for example, if Ganesh has to create a software, today what is the process? You will go to a services company or you call a friend from engineering college saying, I want to develop an app for my teaching course. Then he will need a designer to design interface, right? So you need a combination of team that typically is offered by a services firm. And you will end up spending, if you're a European firm or a US firm, you end up spending anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 to create one application. Then you spend 20% of that on making changes on based on the business is changing. Then you will find some domain name. You will go to GoDaddy, buy a domain name called thingschool.com. So you will pay some money there. Then you will host it on Azure, AWS or a local data center and you will give some money to them, right? That's the typical, if you put the entire cost of stack, it is 100,000 plus another 20%, $20,000 on an annual basis minimum you will spend to digitize your offering or business. Now, when the AI wave coming in, the whole new era of vibe coding has come where this entire software creation process is automated, which means you don't need developers anywhere now. Now, if you have an idea, let's say ThinkSchool wants to get an app to automate ThinkSchool offering, you go to a platform like Emergent saying, okay, my persona is student between 15 to 20-year-old, they're looking for communication classes, these are the problems, can you build me an app? It will then magically bring an app to you within a span of 15 minutes to 1 hour. That's all it takes.
Wow.
Yeah. So suddenly, which took us in SaaS world 1 year or a simple app to create 3 months can be done in a matter of few minutes or under an hour. Now that is the timeline. The cost of that is perhaps you will spend $1,000.
That's it.
That's all. And if you look at the really production ready app, maybe you will spend $10,000 as against spending $100,000. So you get a 10x benefit in creating something which you never have the access. Number one. Number two, it has compressed from idea to creation in that time. I don't have to go to anybody and explain because a lot of translation, loss of translation happens when I go to somebody to explain. I can now figure out on my own what I'm actually needing, right? So that is the whole wave is called vibe coding.
You know, a few months ago, Weber was here. Weber Sisanthi, he runs a company called Growth School. And when he spoke about vibe coding, we made a reel out of it. A lot of these software developers got angry, saying that, you know what, all of this is facade. How can you generate an app with just one prompt? So can you please tell them what exactly is the scope of vibe coding so that at least they open their eyes towards the opportunity and not just see it as a threat?
There are two things happening in vibe coding as a category. So I think the two viewpoints, I'll explain one. So now vibe coding, when we talk production ready app, why it was not solved? Because when the number of lines of code increase, it gets very complex. Managing that is very hard. So today, for example, Emergent can handle about 300,000 lines of code, pretty large code base. But when you go to complex apps, the technology is not there as of now to manage the large code bases and then solve the problems within that code base. So there always will be need of software engineers who can write proper systems, software systems, which can then help automate or create AI systems for the organization and enterprises. So it is not a threat to an existing developers. We talk about health a little bit when you were eating food, right?
Yeah.
You want to maybe handle your routine in an app. Here you have to pay $100 and the app is ready. And you can manage your meal, you understood what you ate, you can show it to your nutritionist, you can show it to your doctor, you can track on your own. So I am able to bring my ideas to life for the first ever time.
So what you're saying is that instead of seeing it as a threat, that they will take away the existing jobs, what they need to see it as a market expansion opportunity where people like Ganesh and Manav, who otherwise never thought of building an app for their food, will use vibe coding to build app for themselves, which expands the market.
Yeah.
And doesn't just shrink it.
Yeah. So I think that's actually the way to look at this industry. And engineers actually are in more demand right now. If you look at YC data now, I don't know whether you tracked it or not. So YC for all these years, average age was 30 years. For the first time in the last 2 years, average is dropped to 26-year-old. And 80% of them are engineers. This actually is the young engineers and young minds who are actually building apps faster, better, shipping at the velocities never happened before.
Manav, while this shift happens, what would you advise a student who's in engineering right now and is 21 years old? What should he do?
Okay, so I have this famous analogy. If you are an engineering student at 21-year-old, you're already empowered because you can build something. So if I was 21 years old today, or even 19 or 17-year-old today, I will actually start building things and put it out there. Like you said, I think the Think School story is what resonating me most. You were very good in communication. You put some content out there. You say user love it. Okay, now let me put more. Whatever user don't love it, I'll change and put some more. It's the same process for a software developer or engineer. They are actually more equipped than because they have a software as a leverage, right? I'll create an app or a system. I put it out there. Nowadays, the distribution game is totally changed. I can go to Twitter, I can go to Instagram, TikTok, and I can actually use marketing to get the users to test my product.
Yeah.
If they love it, they will continue to stick on it. And then I know what's working and continue to double on it. And that's when the companies actually get created. Companies don't get created by saying, okay, let me look at this market opportunity, let's do this analysis, and then I will do this. See, that is very hard to do because you haven't had that life experience as yet. But you're able to understand the creation of the new word. So I would use that superpower and look at the problem I'm trying to solve and create a solution for it. That's the framework I would use.
So simple framework is keep looking for real problems and keep fixing them.
Yeah.
And keep putting your work out so that one fine day you will eventually end up finding a problem that's large enough that millions of users are willing to pay for it, and that will then help you build a company. It's almost very similar to like starting a YouTube channel. You just find something that doesn't exist, you try your best and hope that the algorithm picks it up.
See, most people drop off because they're not consistent about it. If you go back into the stories, look at Facebook, right? How did Mark Zuckerberg, he put out something, okay, people have to know each other on the campus, let me put this, and it suddenly took off. Right? Actually, most of the stories have been found organically, actually. It is not the thought about a large market. That you can do when you have 10, 15 years experience behind you, you understand the domain, that's another way of creating the company. But most of the companies are also, a lot of companies get created organically as well.
If this clip gave you value, please subscribe to this channel so that we can keep bringing you game-changing business insights.